I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how this has impacted me mentally, physically, and spiritually. The awakening is just that. It just takes you to just another level.
You got to get dialed in, focus, and live now. And where that begins is with yourself. The awakening allows that. It eliminates all the bullshit. It eliminates all the clutter that's going on.
If you are feeling like you're not at the level that in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, when nobody else is around and it's just you, and you know that you're not performing at that level, you know you're not hitting those thresholds, you know you're not hitting the expectations in your mind, it's because you're holding yourself back. And the awakening will shatter that. It will shatter that ceiling. It will push you to identify those new levels and get after those. Not only if you want to test yourself, but if you actually want to get to know yourself, this is for you.
I was stuck in the hamster wheel. I was living my life to the best version of what everyone else wanted me to be. And then it hit me. June 5th, 2019, 7 o'clock in the morning, I felt a heavy weight on my chest. I didn't know what the hell it was. I tried to breathe it away. I tried to meditate it away. It wouldn't go. It had me. And that's the one thing that I realized that I did not, and why it scared me so much, was I did not have control. 5 hours later, I had a stent in my right artery. My right artery was 100% blocked. Met with my primary care doctor, David Boyd, and he read me over my labs. And he said, "Jim, you should not be alive right now. This is crazy. The severity of your heart attack, you shouldn't be alive." So at that point, I went home, and tears coming from my eyes, I stared into the mirror, and I said to myself, I cannot continue down this road at the speed that I'm going, at how hard I'm working to be and to serve everyone else but myself. I cannot continue down this road and working my ass off for a couple of extra bucks. This is not what life's about. So I dug into it. I deep dove into how I worked out. I deep dove into how I was breathing and charging my body with oxygen, how I was meditating, what cold water did to my system and my central nervous system, what superfoods would actually do for my body, and how and when to eat those foods. I came up with some very simple principles that, put together in a certain sequence, started to make me feel better, started to help me climb out of that rat race, started to help me with my clarity in moving forward in life and not just working my ass off to make more money. So I sat down about 8 months later with my primary care, Dr. David Boyd, and he looked at my blood. And I had my blood drawn once a month. And he said, "Jim, what are you doing? Your insides look like a 25-year-old, and your mindset is completely different. You're a whole different individual." Ever since I put that system and those principles together, it has changed the way I look at life. It's changed the way I look at myself, and it's changed the way I operate. It's a very simple process, but you have to be committed. You can't just be interested. So I had the opportunity to come up here to Sedona, Arizona, and start the awakening. For those men, and brother, I know you're out there. You're on that hamster wheel of life, and you feel stuck. You're settling. You're doing those things that you don't want to do. You're not doing those things that you want to do. And you're settling for an average lifestyle. And I will tell you, 95% of this program, it's not classwork. We are not in class. And I'm not teaching you. It's not a rah-rah retreat where you go back home and 2 weeks later you sink back into your old habits. The systems and the principles that we go through, and then we jump into the activities, are very simple that you can use back home. The individuals that came through this process, I cannot believe how much these guys are on fire.
It's an empowering feeling to take control of your own mind and The awakening does that for you. It pushes you to your limits. You end up pushing your fear. Any fears that you have, you get tested here. And you end up pushing past them. And it's an incredible feeling, I'll tell you right now, to be able to push past them. Because when you do, you're free. You're absolutely free. So this is something that I gained from it. And if you're looking for something like this will bring it out in you. So if you're looking for an awakening and experience that's gonna bring out the best in you, this is it right here, hands down. The challenges came from day one, from having to carry the log up Bear Mountain. That right there was a mental and a physical challenge. I mean, that right there pushed me to a place that I had no idea that I could actually go. And it just gave me that confidence that I can take this and apply it to anything else that I choose to accomplish. There was a lot of guilt that I had that was trapped inside, and I fought it. And that to me, out of everything that I experienced in this, I thought it would be the physical part that would bring out the best in me, but it was actually the emotional part. It actually allowed me to let go. And once I let go, I can't even begin to tell you the feeling that I experienced. That was the best part. I found out, a lot about myself, and that was the moment I know that it changed me. It changed me. I know what I have to do in life. I know that I can actually be vulnerable, in order to be better. Instead of keeping everything just deep inside, it felt great to actually let go. Jim Stiggs, the real deal. He's the man, the brains behind this. And I have to say, I was telling them earlier, impressed with who he is. And when you get a chance to talk to him, it's one thing. You can already feel his energy, but when you get a chance to actually meet him, that's a different story. This guy is intense. His mindset is just incredible. It's just at another level. I was already telling others that this guy is the man. If you have an opportunity to experience this, I'm gonna tell you right now, just talk to him. Just talk to him over the phone. And when you make that choice, I promise you something, you'll never look back. This will bring out the best in you. This experience it's a game changer. And all of this happens, through what Jim puts you through. He touches on everything. This isn't meant for just one aspect of your life. This is meant to make you better all the way around with your career, with your wife, girlfriend, with your family. The awakening touches on everything. I'll tell you right now, when you do this and make this investment in yourself and let yourself be vulnerable, you'll love it. You'll absolutely love it.
I experienced breakthroughs that I never thought were possible in such a short amount of time. I realized that the pain of fear is temporary, but the pain of regret is forever. And that allowed me to push through to the other side, to tap into the hidden power within me, to my best self. So now there's no limits outside of what's in our minds, because at the end of the day, it's all in here and here. And when you put these two together, you're unstoppable. I'm gonna continue to test my limits and give that gift of courage and curiosity to my sons. I'm gonna give them the gift of a father who will never quit. Yeah, Jim Stagg is an amazing person. What you see is what you get. He's the real deal. He's not marketing something to sell you snake oil. He lives this every day. It's who he is. And he wants to share what he's learned with the rest of the world, with other men like you, like me, so that we can tap into our inner power, so that we can live a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual awakening, so that we can truly live the lives we were destined to live and make a powerful, positive impact on all those around us. If you're hesitating, I would tell you I had those same questions in my mind, but without a doubt, this has far exceeded all of my expectations. And I can tell you, You will never regret investing in yourself, and especially with the awakening. It'll pay dividends for many, many years to come, and even future generations. The biggest thing I learned about myself is that I hold back too much of who I am. I made excuses for why I couldn't do something or wouldn't do something. I allowed myself to accept mediocrity, and I won't do that anymore. The awakening showed me that if I just stick with it and push through and step over that line, that on the other side is a greater life just waiting to grab a hold of it. There are no limitations except for what's in our minds. It's all in here. And the awakening will help you tap into your mind and unleash the power that's within you.
Change the road that you're going down. Because I know, brother, that road, it's a tough road. And if you don't have somebody, if you don't have a team, if you don't have a group of individuals that you can rely on, that you can count on, it's tough to pull out of that rabbit hole by yourself. How I have changed my life on a very simple process. It's the easiest thing that I've ever come upon. And it broke through my limiting beliefs, and it broke through the beliefs that I thought that I had to work harder, not smarter. The harder I push, the better my body looks. The harder I push in my business, the more business that I drive, the more revenue that I drive. That is a complete fallacy. And I work out probably about a third as much as I used to in my body, in my mind, in my whole aura. My whole landscape has changed. A total 180. Totally different, black and white. I don't even know who the individual was that I was before. It's not about how hard you work. I do believe that you do have to grind, but grinding yourself into the ground only will get you into the ground. Just because I'm grinding doesn't mean I'm growing. And that's it. And I had to learn it the hard way. So I'll invite you to come out and understand and see how the Sacred Six is changing men's lives across the country. The purpose, the power, the passion, the peace, the prosperity, and the preservation that you will experience in this very simple process. You will take your mind, body, and spirit to the next level, and you will see inside of these videos, and you will see inside the people, the individuals, the men that have come out here and that have taken the step to improve their lives, taken the step to improve their family, their relationships, their business, exponentially are growing their businesses, turning their marriages around. Their wives, their children, their families don't even recognize them. I'm telling you, my brother, it is the easiest and simplest way to get you off that hamster wheel of life and to get you to live a clean, a solid life, a life that is expanding exponentially on a daily basis.
I was in a place in my life where I was kind of struggling with a lot of things. And I was looking for an escape to go find who I was and what I wanted in life. Jim putting this opportunity together for me and everybody else that has the opportunity to do it is probably the best thing he could have ever done. I mean, he's a rock star builder, but I think this is going to be Jim's claim to fame. You can trust that Jim is going to lead you, and he's going to teach you the things that you need to know to have the most healthy body that you could possibly have, mind and spirit. Jim's awesome. The awakening has given me the opportunity to live a long, healthy life by implementing the Sacred Six into my life on a daily basis. Not only is that going to make me a better father and grandfather and husband, it's going to allow me to put more effort into my business to make it grow, to provide for them. Taking ice baths, meditation, breathing, all that work is stuff that's going to make you better. And if you don't do it, then you're going to live a life that you aren't going to be very happy with, I think. You're going to have problems. If you have an opportunity to come to the awakening, this will change the way you look at life. I would recommend it to anybody that is struggling with their health, or even if you're not struggling with your health. You think you're in pretty good health? Jim thought he was in pretty good health. He had a heart attack. He can help you figure out how to not have that heart attack. I would recommend The Awakening to anybody that thinks that they need it. Even if you don't think you need it, you need it. The Awakening to me was a way for me to find who I am and what I want in my life.
I recommend The Awakening to others. And the reason why is because if you look at our society, the way that things are set, we spend so much time focused on shit that doesn't matter. We spend so much time focusing on keeping up with the Joneses, getting to the next thing, packing money in the 401k, living for the type of life that's going to happen later. Like we're always planning for later. The problem is you don't know if there's a later. If you're anything like me, you've had times where you feel like you're going 1,000 directions at once, and when that happens, you end up staying in the same place. You end up going nowhere. This is the opportunity to hit the reset button, to get focused. You can't go 110 miles an hour all the time. At some point or another, you have to step off the gas, and you need to refuel. And that's really what The Awakening was for me. It was an opportunity to step away, to truly for it to be a retreat, and to step away and away from the rest of the world and into myself. What it was for me was an opportunity for me to test my character, to test my mettle, to test my physicality, and to test my mental strength. By doing so, that leads to a place where that's when you can get to the nitty-gritty. It's really when you can get to the spiritual side and the emotional side. That so often, we have so much going on all the time, I know I do, that I kind of put those pieces of myself to the back burner that I don't engage with enough. And The Awakening allowed that for me, is to get to that point where I could really engage with myself on a deeper level. I invite you to take a look at yourself. Particularly, take a look at the parts of your life that aren't working, and then ask yourself the next question: why? Why is it not working? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be because you're not at a place where you're truly focused. You're not at a place physically where you're happy with your body, where your body is doing all the things that you want it to do. That you're not at a place emotionally where you're stable, where you're flying off the handle at shit. I invite you to come to The Awakening, hit the reset button, and get dialed in.
The Awakening for me was just incredibly powerful. It hit me in ways I didn't expect. There were parts of it where I thought I would know how I would respond to certain situations, and I responded much differently than what I had in my head. And beyond that, it actually helped me identify the things that I was doing in my life, in my mind state, just in my habits, my routines, my approach to things that were holding me back, and identifying new levels that I could achieve because I've now identified those obstacles and I can get those out of my way. Hanging out with Jim Stagg is it's a one-of-a-kind experience. Expect the unexpected. Anytime you can put yourself in a situation with someone and there's 2 options given on how to handle a situation. There's an easy, comfortable way, and there's a hard, uncomfortable way. He's gonna go with the uncomfortable way to force you to level up within yourself and change how you approach life, problems, anything else in between. It's a very, very once-in-a-lifetime type experience to spend some time with Jim. I'll add one more thing. I would say, if you're considering this and you're on the fence, that's probably a phenomenal indicator that you need to do it. If you're trying to find excuses that you don't have the time, or you can't fit it into your schedule, or it's gonna be too much, or whatever the reason may be, in terms of the physical load or the mental load that you've never done this type of process, if you're on the fence about taking part in this, you already know that you should be.
What I actually did receive from the event was far beyond my expectations. What I was not prepared for was the actual combined value of all of the systems and processes that Jim follows, which it's not difficult. It is actually a simple process, but it's not an easy process because it does require one of the most difficult things, and that is consistency. So any of these things that Jim teaches in the Sacred Six done individually is very powerful, but the compounding effect that I received by doing all of them together was absolutely incredible and was beyond what I was even expecting. It's something really that you're just going to have to experience for yourself, but I can tell you this, it is 110% worth it. If you are even considering going, you're considering attending, if you're committed, not just interested, but you're actually committed, it works. And ever since being back and doing the actions and taking the steps consistently, I've already seen big changes in my mindset and my determination to continue on following the Sacred Six process, or what I like to call the Jim Stagg experience, the awakening process, if you will. It is fantastic. It is absolutely mind-blowing, so I would highly recommend it.
Jim Stagg is a monster. Coming into this, if I'm being 100% honest, I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. I wasn't sure if it was going to be worth it. Coming out of this experience, I truly believe the money that was spent going through the awakening is well worth it. The life lessons that you learn going through the program are invaluable as long as you're willing to commit to putting in the work yourself. The awakening for me allowed me to dig deep inside myself and push past my limiting beliefs that I normally had about myself and truly dig inside and see what potential I fully had. Through the activities that took course over the week, it really made us reach deep and realize our fullest potential. Being able to push through the pain, push through the self-doubt. The biggest thing that I got from this retreat would probably have to be allowing myself to let go, allowing myself to kind of bring down the walls that I tend to have up on a day-to-day basis. This whole experience made me realize what little time that we have here to take time out of my day and spend more time with my children and cherish those moments and not to take anything for granted. This experience has been eye-opening for me. There's been a whole bunch of limiting beliefs that my eyes are now open to. As long as you're willing to change your mindset a little and make a commitment, this can be truly an amazing opportunity for you.
I think the biggest thing is if you're sitting down and you're thinking about going in the awakening, or you're sitting down and thinking about going to some other different programs, don't get me wrong, there's many different programs out there. But what the awakening offers you is practical. How are you going to learn stuff and then use it and then be able to take it home and continue to keep using it? Because we can waste a lot of time. We can go and learn a bunch of stuff and never use it. We can go and do a bunch of practical stuff, go get beat down somewhere and think that's really cool. You know what? Nothing ever gets used. But if you can allow yourself to be put into a stressful situation and then how to come out of it, it's life-changing. It's golden. Jim's got your back. What else can you ask for? I've known Jim for many years, and I've seen him just improve constantly. He's always focused on how can he make himself better. And in turn, the better that he is, the more amazing things that he does, from raising $250,000 in the last 2 years for a children's charity to motivating many, many men to be better, seeing his business improved. I've dealt with him on a business level. Jim's amazing to deal with. He's got his stuff dialed in and taken care of, organized. Someone that you want to definitely be around. There's lots of good stuff that I want to tell you guys, but you got to come in and see it for yourself. There's a few surprises. Can't give those surprises away because it was amazing. That's all I can say. Try to take the easy route, and that easy route, it just, it's not always the best place to be. easy route, snoozing, sleeping in bed longer. All it does is causes more problems than we can think about, right? Just keeping the foot on the gas and going, and keeping it smooth, and you accomplish a lot more than like go, and then burn out, go, and burn out. Just keep the foot on the gas, keep it simple.
The Sacred Six, put together in a sequence, actually reverses your aging process. It pulls you off that hamster wheel. It taps into your ultimate power that has been suppressed and that has been hidden for years. I've had the money, I've had the houses, I've had the cars. That shit doesn't mean a damn thing, especially when you're on your deathbed and you shouldn't be here. That's why I developed, and that's why I started The Awakening. If I can save one man's life, one middle-aged man's life, from spinning out of control, I've done my job. Up here in Sedona, I will teach you how to slow down, to speed up, how to center your mind, how to focus your mind, how to tap into your power that has been suppressed for years. I guarantee you, you will be a changed man when you leave this retreat. I guarantee you. The Sacred Six inside The Awakening is saving my life. So I'll have you consider, where in your life do you need to change? Where do you need to change what you're doing currently, living in that rat race, living on the hamster wheel, and feel like you're stuck and you're settling? Click down below on the link, message me, private message me, or message me here if you would like to have a conversation to change your life moving forward. So click down below, click on the link, message me below, or private message me. Let's have a conversation to see if this program can turn your life around. But what you guys just did, that's some hard shit right there.
Yeah, it is.
That was tough. And if you tell me it wasn't, you're lying. And if you tell me it wasn't, we're gonna have a bigger mountain tomorrow.
That was tough. But I loved every minute of it.
Good job, guys. Very nice.
10,000 steps before everybody else has breakfast.
That's right.
Love it.
Yep.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Different muscle.
Oh, yeah.